All right, we are now recording. All right, this is our first attempt at a boys tennis preview. I am Devin LaChapelle, the girls tennis coach at Waterville High School, the MPA coaches liaison, and also assistant tennis coach at Colby College.
I'm Zach Conlog, Mount Blue Boys tennis coach, Region 4 director as well.
And I'm Chris Cole. I'm the Thornton Academy assistant boys tennis coach, and then I run the SMAA doubles qualifier.
All right. First things first, we're going to go over a couple quick little rule changes that are in effect for this season. The big one is Sunday play for certain tournaments, which MPA wide, if things get rained out in the past, we had to make it work on whatever was available, which was tricky. Now we have Sundays available for qualifiers and state events, which should make things a little easier. Update to the doubles tournament. If you were a doubles player and you managed to qualify for the singles tournament, you could play both. This year, that's no longer the case. If you qualify as a doubles player for the singles tournament, you can no longer also play the doubles tournament. That should also make things logistically a little bit easier for us. Some smaller changes. Booth Bay swaps over from my region, Region 3 for singles, over to Zach's region in Region 4 with the rest of the Mountain Valley Conference schools. MCI swaps over, back to C North from C South. And we now have rules in place where teams will forfeit positions if they play their lineup out of order beyond May 1st. So you got to record ladder matches in for your 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if your lineup is not in line with that, you will forfeit positions. All right, so first thing we're going to jump right into, and my hope is after we're done, maybe before I put this out there, to also have this in a list in text written out. But we're going to just look at some players to watch, starting in the South.
Yes, lots of great players down here. The SMA conference has always been well represented the last few years at the state tournament, and defending state champion Matt Marnall is kind of leads the pack down here. And then it looks like this year playing right behind him would be that Adrian Mazarenko from Falmouth. And then for us at TA, we've got two returning our number 2 and our number 3 from last year after Terry Ma graduated. We've got Andy Vahatsev and Takaya Matsuda. They're battling it out for who's going to be 1, who's going to be 2 real soon. And 2 great kids to kind of for our team and our captains for this year as well. Yarmouth's got a couple of returners and James Hartnett and Alex Gordon. 2 great, also 2 really solid players. Berto is, maybe he's going to finish the family sort of trifecta of state champions, right? His brother won, 3? Jordan won 3, and his sister, she won 1 or 2.
She didn't play the individual tournament, but she won the team title, I think, as a freshman.
That's right. And she didn't play it at all. I thought she played it 1.
No. I think she would have been the favorite or close to it. But no, she just wanted the team glory.
Yeah, she got the team glory and stuff like that. Chevers has got a strong one in Aria. Aria's a talented player, great personality, big personality, and kind of just great to see around. And he's got some big hitting skills and things like that. And he's only a sophomore, so lots of years left for him. And then Vivian for Deering, also another great player. He's a junior, also good big personality, all that sort of stuff. And I've heard he's improved in the off season as well. And so it should be battles in all those A South matches down here, and with some B matches. And I know there's some other great players out there that we just haven't heard of yet, but they're going to emerge really quickly, and look forward to playing them and seeing them play.
Awesome. All right, Zach, take it away with the West.
Awesome. Moving on to the West. Kind of a down year for the West. We graduated quite a bit from our region over the last few years, so we're still rebuilding, but we still have some big names coming out of this. It's led by Calvin Vincent, senior at EL. He's made a good run the last few years in the singles tournament. Wants to really crack into that round of 16 or maybe the quarterfinals this year. Heard he's been playing pretty well in the offseason. Right behind him is his cousin, Gabe Vincent, who's going to be a junior this year. Didn't play in the singles tournament last year. He had a disc golfing competition, a very good player there. Good athlete, doesn't miss very much. Also really curious to see how Judah Paris does this year as a freshman. Played in a pretty tough league, but held his own against most players. So curious to see what he can do in his sophomore season. And then we'll see what else comes out of it. You never know with some of these schools. They have some random people show up out of nowhere. So
you never know what super athletes are going to get.
Oh yeah, we always have some surprises come the qualifier. So curious to see who will show up and step up.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see with Booth Bay over there because Booth Bay's got some players, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll be talking about them in a little bit, but it'll be a good mix with them joining in.
All right, I'll cover Central, and I guess I kind of cheated a little bit. It's kind of like Central and a little bit north, so I can get my guys up at MCI. All right, so Brady Peacock out of Gardner. He's coming off of Gardner's first state championship in basketball, so he's got to be excited. He's had some, good seasons. He's been playing a lot in the summer, playing a lot in the off season. I'm sure he'd love to match his sister's success at the state singles tournament, but he should have a good season. Over at Waterville, we've got Colby and Trevor Tardif, brothers, very likely to play 1 and 2. Both have had some great seasons, a lot of all-conference KVAC awards there. So, the KVAC will be pretty tough at the top in B North this year, but they should have a good run. Then out of Messalonski, we've got Gavin Jackson, big, tall lefty. Been working a lot on his serve in the off season. I expect he'll surprise some people this year. He's been playing very well. And then out of MCI, we've got kind of a newcomer coming in from Italy, Francesco. I don't actually know how to say his last name. I should have asked him a couple weeks ago. Tumsic. Mostly used to playing on clay, but I've watched him hit. He's a very, very solid player. I expect him to be, potential round of 32, round of 16 type guy in the tournament. And then we also have returning Harry Holmstrom from MCI. He's put together some solid seasons. Also coming off of basketball, so he's in shape, ready to go. Looks good over at MCI. They should have a strong team this year. In the Mid-Coast, we've got, as always, Camden. Will Meyer not playing, presumably, for Camden this year. He's been doing a lot of training down in Massachusetts. So Joey Scordino and Oscar Barnes both will likely move up to the 1 and 2 slots. They both had solid runs at the singles tournament last year. Both have been playing pretty well. I expect them, to play pretty well. They're right in my region, so excited to see how that turns out. Similarly, Brunswick. Brunswick's always deep. We got Augie Meserve. Good run last year. Obviously comes from a very successful tennis family as well. So I'm sure he'd like to see some of that same success. And then Edgar Mearden, yet another tennis family. He's got an interesting game. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's serve with one hand, play with the other hand. Yes.
Yeah, it's tough to tell what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Plays a lot of motion, but plays really respectfully. And he's a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really excited to see what he can do as a sophomore.
Oh yeah. Then we've got George Siegel out of Lincoln. So many of these guys are from tennis families. George he qualified for the singles tournament last year. I believe he's a junior. I expect to see him, back playing well. And then Alex Ross. Alex last year had an injury, I think an ankle injury, so he was kind of out for part of the season. But he's been playing well. I saw him play in an off-season tournament. He actually played against Francesco from MCI, really good match. So I expect he'll be one of the top guys over in Region 4 to come through there. And Zach, I'll turn it over to you for the north/east.
All right, moving up to the north, we'll start with Bangor with the Grunkemeyer brothers, Nate and Josh. Ben back and forth. Last year, they kind of alternated back and forth between 1 and 2, with Nate as the freshman taking the 1 spot. But it appears that Josh has recently won their head-to-head matchup. But
yeah,
they're a pretty deadly 1-2 combination up north. Both very athletic. They both had a really good basketball season. So really excited to see what they can do this year. Definitely raises Bangor up into that top 3 mix in Class A, and I think they're both excited to make a run this year in the singles tournament. We're not sure, obviously, if Maximilian Ballet is playing. He was Foxcroft's number 2 last year. We would assume he'd be moving up to 1, but we haven't seen any. I haven't seen any action for them. For Orono, it's Bergen Soderberg coming off their state championship last year. Super athletic, has a style that I really enjoyed. He plays,
I bet.
Yeah, he plays very similarly to how I play, but he had a classic last year in the first round of the singles tournament. Where I think he lost the 3-setter there. So
that was to the Lincoln Academy one. Yeah, that was good.
It was a great matchup. So I think moving to 1 for him for Orono, they've been a fantastic program. He'll really do an excellent job there, and I think he'll make a little push this year in the singles tournament as well.
Nice.
All right, moving up to the Aroostook County, we'll continue on with Caribou. Caribou's got a storied history. They got the same 1-2 combination of Ben Bouchard and Mason Merchant, who played 1-2 last year. Ben, he's been very experienced. He's made it to the singles tournament, I think, last 2 or 3 years he's been there. Same with Mason Merchant as well. The other one for up north that should have a good season, moving from 2 to 1, will be Jacob Bennett. I don't believe he was in the round of 52 last year, but I would imagine he would. He had some really good results last year. So obviously not an area I'm familiar with entirely, but they got some excellent players. And when it comes to the singles tournament, I feel like they're always the people that people underestimate, and they have some fantastic wins. And these guys are 3 very athletic players who can make a dent in the tournament.
And I think Mason is even a former Mid-Coast guy. I think they moved up there a couple years ago, so he's got that Mid-Coast tennis experience too.
Of course. They always seem to play a lot of tennis up in Caribou, which you wouldn't think with how cold it is up there.
Yeah, not a team I enjoy seeing in the playoffs. Well, I mean, I like playing them, but I don't I don't really want to see them. I'd rather see somebody else.
Exactly.
All right, so Chris, you want to talk about our freshman to watch?
Yeah, our freshman, Alex Kirchev, that's Sophia's younger brother. He's going to be playing for Falmouth this year, and lots of good feedback about him, and solid player, and looks to develop. He's obviously got a great family sort of tradition and those types of things, and will add to Falmouth's depth of in their singles lineup, or maybe in doubles and stuff like that. But he's the top player appears to be down here.
Yeah, and I saw him play at the Clan Fest. Seems very solid. So I'll be interested to see how he does.
Yeah, and he's been in the adult circuit for a long time. I remember playing with him when he was 8. So
how'd that match go, Zach?
Yeah,
how'd that go? Yeah,
I'll take my 1 victory over him.
Was that the tournament you played the whole family?
I played the whole family, yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so gentlemen, obviously I don't coach a boys team, but if you guys want to give a little rundown of how your own teams are looking this year before we get into the bigger picture stuff, go right ahead.
You want me to go first? I can go first. Okay. Yeah, we've got 19 kids, a nice mix of returners. Some, we have a chunk of incoming players that we're kind of figuring out how our lineups are going to be and stuff like that. Obviously, with Andy and Takaya, we have a pretty good sense of the top of our lineup, and then from this point forward, we're going to be kind of figuring out who our 3 and our doubles teams are and stuff like that. But we're really pleased with what we have. Really energetic group and hardworking group. So it's been really kind of fun. Honestly, at this point, it's really hard to sort of tell, and it's kind of the adventure of our team every year is kind of figuring out how it's going to kind of play out. And in a few weeks, we'll kind of keep building for our opener. We open up against Portland 2 weeks from today, actually, and then we'll have some practice over break, and then come back and we play Falmouth pretty early. And then we got those singles qualifiers. So we just kind of keep building and hopefully are playing our best tennis when we get to Bates and beyond and all that sort of stuff. But it's
Nice.
a fun group of kids, and we've enjoyed working with them, and we've enjoyed the weather. I think Monday was the first time in my 23 years of coaching I wear a t-shirt and shorts on the first day. So I'm enjoying it.
Nice. You returning any of your doubles guys who played the doubles tournament last year?
So Yuta, who was on our second doubles team, is back.
Oh, nice.
And things like that. So his partner's gone. Our first doubles team is gone as well. So we got a crop of kids. We've got some kids from, I want to say, Brazil, Italy. I'm trying to think, Czech Republic. We got a bunch of different ones, Mexico and all that stuff. So great group. As I said, the first week has been a lot of fun, and they've been working hard and all that sort of stuff. So
awesome. All right, Zach, what do you got out west at Mount Blue?
Yeah, we're in a bit of a rebuild this year. We lost our top 5 guys from last year, so we returned our second doubles, and then the rest of the team are all guys I've either poached from other teams or that aren't playing sports. I got 3 new guys from the basketball team.
Nice.
A couple of my soccer boys came over. We have 4 from Europe playing. So I think we're one of those teams that early on we maybe don't look as good, but once we get fire, I think this group can really do something. They really want to work. They've been working really hard. Like today, we have 17 guys. We had a 2-hour practice outside, and then we ended practice, and I look out and there's 10 more of them who stayed for another 45 minutes to hit. So they want to improve. We know kind of where we're at. We're trying to fight in that middle of the road, trying to avoid, the Brunswicks and the Camden in the first round of the playoffs. It's kind of where we're at, but I think this group's got a lot of potential. I'm really excited for this year.
Awesome. All right. That's a good segue into our teams to watch. Zach, you can start off with the North. We'll go A North, B North, C North.
Perfect. All right. This year, Camden kind of been the top dog over these last 10 years since they've come up. Obviously, with losing Will Meyer, they change a little bit. They're still going to be very good with Joey and Oscar Barnes in the mix at 1 and 2. And Noah's always really good at coaching doubles. So I'm sure they got a lot of depth throughout their lineup. They're going to be in the mix, but I would think Brunswick, it's got to be the team to beat. They return all their singles players. They were very good at doubles. They're all back as well. And I think I heard they might have 1 or 2 that maybe came in that would also help their doubles teams. I mean, they had a UTR 5 playing exhibition for them last year. So
wouldn't that be nice?
I know, right? So I think they just kind of rebuild. I don't think they lost very much. So they're probably the team to beat right now in Class A. Although obviously Camden will have something to say about that. And then Bangor, you have that 1-2 kick with the Grunkemeyer boys. So they, if they can get the 2 wins, they really, you can go up 2-0 in any match. Anything can happen at the other 3 spots. So they got some depth there. Cindy does a great job up there. They're usually super athletic. So those would be the 3 teams to watch up in Class A North.
All right, what you got for B North?
B North a little bit better. You want to get us started, Devin? I'll chime in.
Sure.
I haven't seen many of these. I mean, I'll play Waterville in a few weeks. I'm excited to see them, obviously, with the Tardif boys. But
Yeah, maybe we should have delayed it until then. Yeah, so I'll start with Waterville. I don't coach the boys, but I know the boys pretty well. Just in general, they got a really nice group of kids. Very likely to they've got some experience with the Tardif boys at likely 1 and 2 singles. One of our doubles guys, Michael, he's gonna probably move up to 3. The doubles are probably going to be a little bit of a work in progress. Jason does a good job with the team. The Tardifs are his boys. He does a good job, but it's going to be working with some inexperienced kids at doubles. I also heard, unfortunately, one of our doubles guys might have broken his foot today. That's what his sister told me. So not a great look yet. But singles wise, they should be solid in all 3 single spots. I talked to Ryan, coach over at Foxcroft. He usually has a pretty solid squad in general. He gets some international guys who come in. He seems to think it might be a little bit of a, if not a down year, maybe not quite as much of a strong year as he's had. They've had some really good runs in the past. That being said, I think they're always kind of a team to watch in general, just with how successful they've been lately. And then as we talked about Caribou, Caribou's always in the mix. I feel like even when they graduate a lot of guys, they still come back with just really strong athletes, soccer, basketball guys, who just know how to play, who will stay out on the court for, 4 hours just to, grind out a win. So, and we got a couple of their guys, Ben and Mason, who should be solid. So I see all 3 of those teams as contenders. And, there might even be teams I haven't mentioned here that just come out absolutely blazing, and I'm totally wrong. But yeah, it looks B North looks pretty open at the moment.
It does. There's a lot of talent that were graduated up in B North, especially like 1 and 2 singles that were there. So a lot of it will come down to what people are doing in the off season and how things click and who matches up well with other people.
Yeah. All right. Zach, you want me to talk about C North, or you want to handle C North?
You got it.
I got it.
You know those MCI boys well.
All right. Yeah. So I think C North, the 2 teams that are really going to be battling for that top spot, although they don't play each other in the regular season, so it'll be interesting. No preseason either. Orono and MCI. Orono's coming off, big state title last year, beat Waynfleet, broke their decade plus long state title streak, 3-2, and Bergen at 2 last year, lost in 3 sets. I mean, they could have gone 4-1. Orono graduated a few, so they're not going to be maybe quite as strong as they were last year, but with Bergen at 1 and a couple of those other doubles guys shifting up the singles, I still expect them to contend. And then MCI, Coach Kyle does a great job with those guys. He's really, really built up a good team culture there, does a ton of work in the summer. So he's in a good position where he's got some homegrown talent like his son Harry, who will likely slot in somewhere at singles, and a couple other guys who have just been with this program for years now. And then he's also got some international students coming in. Francesco is going to be up in that 1-2 spot, and he's got a few other guys that are going to give him a ton of depth. So if the seeds fall with these guys on opposite halves, I would expect the C North final to be between those 2 teams, and I think it'll be a good match. All right, Chris, you want to take it away with A South?
A South, yeah. I mean, I think it's Falmouth until someone knocks them off. So they're the favorites. So I think they've won it the last 3. Is it 3 years? Three
something like
years
that. Yeah.
and been undefeated every time. So, they've obviously they got Matt, Adrian, Eli, Alex, and then they've got some of their doubles kids back, Luke Cassell, Dante Ionetta, and all that sort of stuff. So they're kind of that team that everyone sort of chases. So until someone gets them, I think they deserve that sort of mantle. We were runners up last year in the South, 4-1 battle and stuff like that. So we've obviously lost a couple of players here, doubles players, and our number one. As I sort of said, we got 2 juniors to lead us off, and then we will kind of piece the rest of it together, and kind of see how it all comes in the next few weeks. Chevrolet got a formidable 1-2 punch. They've got Aria, they've got Alfie, who plays there too. They won a lot of matches last year with those 2 winning, and picking up a point either at third singles. I think they won a lot of matches last year by sweeping the singles and stuff like that. But I heard they've got a couple of new players in to help kind of add to their depth. So they'll kind of be that that other third team down here that will battle it out and could knock us or Falmouth off as well. And then there's Kenny Monk's got to the semifinals last year. They got Berto, the top of their lineup. They graduated a lot of other players. I think 4 or 5 of their other spots had seniors in them. So they're probably, that next sort of tier down. And then you've got Gorham, who's always got great doubles teams every year. And it's always the sort of challenge. Fun to compete against them and great athletes. And he's always got great numbers. So they're kind of that next sort of group that you always got to watch out for. But the good thing about our league, and I know we'll get to it in a second, is all of our top teams will play each other. We've kind of figured that out in the scheduling, to make sure that the top teams are always playing, like more of the like teams play each other in the course of the season, and then you can jump up and jump, and move back or whatever with that piece of it. So
nice. Yeah, that is nice. We don't necessarily get that luxury over in KVAC B North, where we're playing maybe 2 or 3 teams in our league.
We play everyone's in our division. You don't play everyone, but at least you get all your matches are East South.
Yeah, so. And that's not to say we don't get good matches. It just we don't get to see the Caribous, the Presque Isles until playoffs. Yeah. All right, Chris, thoughts on B South teams?
Yarmouth again. They're how many years in a row have they won it? I can't even.
I don't know, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. So obviously they're the favorite until someone knocks them off. They got a bunch of talent coming back on their team. They're always good singles, doubles. I think both of their doubles teams qualified for the state tournament last year as well. So solid up and down, great coaching from them. They're always fun to play, and when we see them in exhibition sort of stuff or state tournament type play. Cape Elizabeth is always kind of, Andy Strauss been doing it forever and always gets good teams and kind of gets them kind of in the right direction. Pretty sure his team was pretty young last year, so he should, and I think they gave Lincoln Academy a battle in the playoffs last year. So they're always fun, and fun to compete against. And there's always all those other Western Maine conferences that are Western Maine conference teams that always have a lot of tennis players that are kind of battle tested and make the division tough. So someone else could come out of there that we don't know about yet. So
nice. All right, Zach, you want to finish with C South?
C South. It appears this year is a 2-team race between Waynfleet and Boothbay. These 2 matched up last year for a pretty good game. Waynfleet won that one 3-2. Boothbay, known traditionally for having some pretty good doubles teams. They got some depth. They got Alex Ross at number 1 this year. Griffin Yeridans at number 2. So they'll be pretty good at 1 and 2. Waynfleet lost their 1 and 2 from last year, but they returned their 3, their doubles, and it looks like a few of their guys have put some time in the offseason and really improved. Also, new coach for Waynfleet. Is that correct, Evan?
Yes, as far as I know, they do have a new coach.
New coach. So you never know. what will happen there, but I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job with that team. And Wayfleet obviously broke their streak of, what was it, 15?
Something like that, yeah.
17,
Like
16,
that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna look to get back on track this year. But yeah, I think Booth Bay will definitely be a team that can give them some trouble.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I'll be interested to see what Griffin does over at in that matchup. Griffin's always a big player in our region. I'm kind of sad that we're losing him to Zach, but always in the last 2 years he's come out beating a guy 2 years in a row, a guy over a point higher than him UTR wise, and it's just I don't know. I feel like he comes out for big matches, so I'm interested to see what Griffin does in the playoffs this year.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll move on to some matches to watch. First thing I'm going to start with is preseason matches to watch. I'm a big fan of using the preseason to, really see where my team is at. I probably am. I might schedule more teams than any other coaches in the state. I have 10 different teams I'm playing on the girls' side this year. That being said, I'm under the cap of countable days, so anyone listening, I'm still within the rules. But yeah, I like to get my team battle tested before the first countable match. But in terms of boys, a few of them, you'll notice a common theme here. I did talk to Kyle over at MCI. He has a similar philosophy to me, so he's got some. Oh, did we lose Zach? That's all right. We'll keep rolling.
Okay.
So MCI and Camden are going to square off in the preseason. That should be a good one, especially up at that one spot. Whether that's Joey or Oscar playing Francesco, I imagine that could have some state singles implications. MCI is also taking on Yarmouth. As you said, Chris, Yarmouth is always a massive contender. Really can compete at any level. So that should be again another one with state singles implications and just a good warm up for both teams. And then yet again, my third one, MCI and Bangor. Those are both kind of northernish teams. So I suspect that the winner of whoever's playing one singles for both of those teams is going to be in contention for the top seed out of Region 2 for the qualifier. And down a little more south, Brunswick and Lincoln, they have a tradition of playing every season. So I suspect that will be a good match. Both have some depth, both return some singles guys. So I anticipate that will be pretty good. And I always appreciate it in Region 3 because it helps us do some seeding when those, A-B crossovers happen. So that should be fun. And then Chris, you got one as well.
Yeah, we've been traditionally have played Cape every year. I want to say this is probably the 9th or 10th year that we've done it. It's always a great scrimmage. Again, because with us being in the same region, we don't play any of the Western Maine Conference teams during the regular season. So it's always good to kind of get some stuff. And again, from a seeding perspective, it's helped us sort of see what they have. We could advocate for each other's programs with the seeding component because we know we play each other. Then obviously start playing teams in our own league, and it kind of helps with that crossover component of it. And I know like Falmouth and Yarmouth will scrimmage too, typically in the preseason as well, just to kind of like same type of thing, top teams in A South and B South and A and B in general. And they kind of have those battles, and or they'll wait to the end of the season to do it right before the playoffs and all that good stuff.
Good. Yeah, always fun. All right. Well, we lost Zach. I'm hoping he'll come back. So, Chris, I'll have you talk about some regular season matches to watch involving your own team, and then maybe another one that's involving some other teams. And if Zach, let's check the text message from Zach. Computer died. Be right back. Okay. All right. So, Chris, I'll let you talk about that, and then we'll give him a chance to get back. All right, go for it.
So, a couple of the teams, that we obviously play Falmouth pretty early. We play Chevrolet probably a week later. Those are probably the top two as of right now, but everyone's really important, team I think I just realized I probably should have also talked about was Scarborough. Scarborough
Oh yeah.
always has a lot of talented teams. Craig does a great job of coaching them up, and we'll play them that week before the singles and doubles at Bates and stuff like that. So he's been doing it as long as we have. So down at TA, so they're always a great match to play against too. So our league is a great, as I said, we've kind of tiered it a little bit in the last few years, where we've taken the boys and girls teams and kind of like grouped everyone together, and then tried to make sure that we've created 4 pods, and you play everyone in your pod, and then you play some teams in the opposite pods and stuff like that, to kind of create a little bit more fairness and stuff like that. And it's based on both, because obviously when we play home, the girls play away, and stuff like that. So it's worked well the last few years. We'll redo it next year again, to do it every 2 years. So that's always a good thing. Obviously Cheverus and Falmouth will play. They play pretty early, I think, as well. I'm just looking at our master schedule, and I think they play on the 1st. So and I think that's pretty much, Falmouth plays us and Cheverus back to back.
Oh, okay.
So back to back days too, because we play that Thursday, Friday of opening week, because we try not to play Monday, because everyone coming off of vacation and all that sort of stuff becomes a challenge. So so the great thing is about our league and the teams down here is that we get to see each other, as you said, in A South, and then B South, they'll play each other twice on the Western Maine Conference's team. So Yarmouth and Cape, and then Waynfleet is part of that sort of mix with those guys, and NYA will jump in and all that. So they get York has been good too, and so they get each other twice, and then they play a couple of other opponents, crossover opponents as well.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a new thing for the Western Maine Conference, KVAC, and PVC now, and actually the MVAC too, are all adding some crossover there. So we've got some KVAC teams in B South that are now playing some Western Maine teams in B South. It's pretty limited at the moment, but like Lincoln Academy is playing Greeley, for example. Or
we got a Camden Yarmouth boys this year, Devin.
Camden Yarmouth boys, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. I did see that. Brunswick Yarmouth too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think Coney and Lincoln Academy are playing Greeley and Cape Elizabeth. I'm not sure which one, but there's some crossover there. And then up in the north, we're playing Foxcroft, who's PVCB North, and we're KVACB North. So it is. I'm hoping to see that open up a little bit more. I think it's always good to see more teams, and but I'll take the little bit that we have so far. Chris, I am curious. I know you said you play Falmouth, Cheverus pretty early. Is there any sort of intentionality with that, just in terms of like, okay, we know some of the Falmouth guys, some of the Thornton guys, some of the Cheverus guys are going to be maybe in contention for single seating, so let's try to get them in before the seating meeting? Or is it just kind of like, we'll do whatever?
That part of it, I was part of the process at the beginning of just like getting the pods together, kind of helping that piece of it. That part of it, the AD, who's our scheduler, just kind of did that. So at first we were like, oh, we're playing all these teams right at the beginning, but then we were like, that's actually a good thing, because of all the, especially this year, because the last 2 years, because of how early everything is, it's been kind of pushed up because of Memorial Day. Memorial Day being kind of earlier, so everything kind of needed to be a little bit earlier in the sense of that. So we've moved all our matches off of April break, because that was just not it just didn't.
Yes, I've got an April break match.
Yeah, and when the years that we did it, everyone would move them off, and so then when you have rain, no one could make up any matches. So it just, we're like, if you want to move it on, that there's that sort of general rule. You can move it onto April break if both teams agree, but if not, we're we've created a schedule that kind of works where we just have to play that one match before, and then next year, because Memorial Day is later, if the states get moved back a week, we may be able to kind of do all of our stuff after break. So
yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2/3 of my returning players unavailable for April break, and we play our opener over April break. It'll be an adventure for my new players, but it's I don't know. Maine weather's so tricky and the season's so short. It's just it's a tough situation no matter where you put matches.
Exactly.
All right, so Zach, what are you looking at for regular season matches to watch?
I mean, obviously, I'm excited. Our conference, similar to what they're doing in Class A South. We have 11 teams in the boys and then 12 in the girls. We've kind of gone to more of a tiered system where the top teams all play twice. So you got Brunswick and Camden playing twice. Messalonski was projected to be pretty good, so they're playing a lot of those teams as well twice. You got that Brunswick Yarmouth matchup, Camden Yarmouth matchup. So hats off to Yarmouth to scheduling those.
Yeah,
those are going to be great. They'll be great matches, especially for meaningful matches as well, which will be really excited. Always for us for Mount Blue, it's always us and Mount Ararat. I think every time we've played, there's been at least three setters. The score might be 4-1 or whatever it is, but every time we play them, it's pretty tight. And like I said, after the three, the Bangor, Brunswick, Camden, the next mix is really tight. So it'll really come down to a lot of matchups, who plays each other multiple times, because there's a few teams that do play each other twice. But I like what they did with the scheduling. I like that they gave the top teams a chance to play each other twice rather than just kind of beating up on the lower teams.
I think maybe those teams that are rebuilding would like that too. Just don't have to get demolished 5 times. Instead, you can just
twice a year and
just take a couple of losses, play twice against some other similar opponents, and maybe get kids excited to keep playing and not quit.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think they did a good job of managing so like the top teams didn't get screwed if one of them, loses all the other one. They still have a chance to get a lot of points, but I think they did a really nice job in the KVC.
Yeah.
KVC Northland, because it is pretty open, like I said, after those 3.
Yeah. So I assume matches to watch are Camden Brunswick, Camden Bangor, Brunswick Bangor.
Brunswick Bangor. Those would be the 3.
Yeah.
They're going to be some good high-end singles play, and obviously those teams are obviously pretty good at doubles as well. So I would expect those 3 teams will be sending some doubles teams. So
yeah. All right. Any other thoughts about anything we haven't covered? I feel like we've covered a lot in not too much time.
Yeah.
I think the curious thing is I think from talking around the league, a lot of them hadn't scheduled because we got that big snowstorm right before the season started. A lot of them were kind of hesitant what we can do. So I'm curious to see if there's some more big matchups that we didn't know about that all of a sudden pop up right before the season.
Oh, like preseason wise?
Yeah.
Or maybe during April break or something like that.
Yeah, no, that
it's been a nice summer. I mean, we've been pretty lucky. I mean, 50s, but
yeah.
Nice.
After last year.
I'm kind of regretting not, because I have all the coaches' emails as the coaches liaison. I probably should have just sent an email out and said, "Hey, what are you guys doing for preseason matches? I'd love to talk about it." Because but I do think I've noticed a lot of coaches have put scores and stuff in UTR for their preseason matches too, which I always do. So sometimes when I'm like looking around, I'll see, oh man, these two teams that I would never expect to play just played a match. So I don't know, I'll keep an eye out. On the girls' side, I know we're talking boys, but on the girls' side, Brunswick and Coney are going to play, I think, next week, and that should be a barn burner. They got Molly made the final last year from Brunswick. Kira made the quarters as a freshman, ACL tear last year, and she's back. So I think that'll be a fun preseason match to watch.
I'll give a lot of coaches credit. The ones who seem to have improved from last year went out and got really good matches in the preseason, which will definitely
Nice.
help them long term / with the committee when they're making the seedings. So I feel like coaches did a good job this year, really going after good matches, which is nice.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I really like the preseason because I feel like I just hit up a bunch of, nice coaches with strong teams, and there's no pressure. You're just out there having fun, watching some good tennis. If you lose, you lose. If you win, great. But I don't know, everybody's just getting better. So it's certainly a nice option to have. Do you guys
learn so much? You learn so much about your kids just how they just compete, instead of getting to that first match and you're like, okay, we should have gone over that 2 weeks ago. And how to do a tiebreaker, like things just
Yeah. We do a lot of those. Most of our preseason matches, we do the third set match tie break, so we get pretty good at that. Any other final thoughts? All right, cool. I'll count that as a success. I'll try to stop this recording.